change when that money comes. Change still keep a drum. They came out the cut and made a nigga run. I was the one that shot the gun. Took his bitch and made him say fuck Lord. I was the one make your brother start selling drugs. I was the one gave that ski mask and told him throw. I'm the reason why he called himself the plug.
I just interviewed the most beautiful girl on the planet. How was it? You have fun?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of fun. It was good.
We gotta do that again.
No, I think so. It definitely like brought out more that I feel like topics I would like to talk about.
Hell yeah, talk about it. I appreciate it, girl.
People think like Afghanistan is our biggest contributor to heroin, but it's like Mexico. But America is so drugged the fuck out. We need these countries. You know, we need like Afghanistan and fucking Mexico and all this just to take care of our drug needs. You know what I mean? So it's like we're the #1 buyers of all of this shit. Heroin, these synthetic pills. You know, we're up there. So it's like, you know, they're fighting wars for money, but they're fighting wars to keep us kind of drugged the fuck out too, which is crazy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. Also, like, you know, colonization has not stopped, and I think that's the thing that's like so important for people to see, like, segregation and slavery and all that shit. Like 1955 was not that long ago.
Right.
And people talk like it was like, no. Like my grandfather from my dad's side was born in the 1800s.
Right. Wow.
So it's like, that's only one generation away from me.
Right.
That's really not far.
My mom was born in 1955. My mom was born on the same day Rosa Parks didn't give her seat up. December 1st, 1955. That same day. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I love that. I wish like I was part of those times. Like I feel like I'd be all like, especially like the Black Panthers, and there was like a Puerto Rican version of them also. And I just wish I lived, because I know I would have been right there with it, because I'm more of that radical type. Like I always think that, especially things that go on, like now I'm just like, why don't we get a team together and we like recreate the Black Panthers? It's like for all the injustice, like we create our own police system for the people.
We gotta be. I know some original Black Panther. Well, my mom knows them, so I guess I know them through family. We interviewed one in Africa. That's like, so here's how it started. They started out like a for the neighborhood, like free lunch, you know, helping kids out, doing shit like that. But then if we start something, what happens is somebody come radicalize it, and like the police get inside of it. You know what I mean? And then the police start telling you to, you know, y'all should carry guns, you know, y'all should do this and you should do that. So then they kind of psych you out. So then you start doing shit. And that's what happened. The Black Panthers was, they started out as a good cause, but they got infiltrated and they got led off track. So then when they got led off track, the FBI put FBI agents as like their cameramen. So imagine this, they're now wanting to seek publicity, whatever that word is, and try to get in the, you know, in the magazines and shit like that. But
the media,
all of their cameramen was the feds.
So what's going on now with everything, even what's going on really now, which I try and kind of stay out of, because I know I need to sit back and really realize, like, I need to decipher what's going on. What are they trying to do? Like, you know, with Russia and Ukraine, like, I need to sit back. Why is this happening? What are they trying to do? Is this like the USA's plan to take over which country? Like, what are we do? Because we're obviously we're a factor, and there's a reason why they're butting in there. Because the United States has a bunch of problems on their own. So why aren't we just minding our own business and dealing with the fuck we got like going on here? Like, we have so much, and I hate that, because, like, you know, a lot of people say, I don't know, I might be rambling, going off topic, but like, you know, I hate when people use the verbiage, well, there's kids in Africa starving. Right. No, there's kids in the United States starving.
Correct.
Okay? 100%. So why are you talking about Africa like they're poor when we're fucking poor? Like, we have shit that we have to do with, that we have to do, and we don't have, like, let those motherfuckers over there, like, do their thing. Let them battle it out. Why are we going? I can see, and I kind of understand, because it's like, okay, you know, if one big country, you know, takes over another country, it could topple over like a domino effect. But at the same time, like, if America is who they are, we already know they're not going to bring that shit over there.
Right.
Because we're not going to allow it.
We're not going to let them. Right.
But it depends who is in charge,
Correct.
Who is showing that we're the top people, who is showing. So, I don't know.
I like that you even think about shit like this. Who, like, alright, I know I call you pretty like every day, but who this pretty even talks about shit like that?
No, it is real, and I always think of that like kind of myself. I always thought, like, I don't know, as far as I can remember, but I always thought that I was put in the wrong body. And I don't know if that's I don't know how to take that thought in my head. I don't really try and judge it.
Right.
But I think that's more for other people too.
Right.
It's like you wouldn't expect that. So I think I'm not there yet, but I'm still trying to figure out, this is a part of me for a reason.
Right.
It's to possibly help me to get to a point to where this is going to draw massive people in, so I get the message out.
That's what I see. I see that.
Yeah.
I didn't even introduce you. Whoa.
Go Deep episode 2.
Right.
Oh my God, I forgot. So I got one of the coolest girls I know. One of the
coolest people I know. I say this every day to this girl. This girl is amazing in a lot of different ways.
She's one of the prettiest girls you're ever gonna meet. But she's deep. She got a lot of shit, I guess, floating around in her little brain. But she gets it out, and she says it to a way where I can see she kind of sees the matrix. So I got my good friend, Ashley.
Ashley, how you doing? You're great.
I'm great. I always say that when people ask me, I'm like, I'm great. I'm alive, I'm here.
Right.
I can't be anything than that.
Well, I thank you for coming and giving me this interview. You know,
I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. It's going to be great. Great conversation.
It's going to be great. So, first question I got with you. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell us about maybe like your upbringing and shit like that.
Oh my God, that's so interesting, because you started with, who am I? And I think I asked myself that even to this day, because I'm not sure of that yet. Sometimes I ask myself that, like, who am I? Like, where, just because my thought, how I see the world, I'm like, I know I'm so different, like, I've seen it.
Right.
And even when I go back to childhood, there's instances that I pull and I'm like, wow, like, I am different. And I think everybody has their own purpose here. All humans are really interesting and creative and definitely here for a purpose. But for me, I guess some background is, I don't know what to say. I guess I'm like a...
Where are you from?
Yeah, mixture of North and South, but originally New York, Long Island. Spent most of my roots in New York. I got to enjoy, which I thought we went there for summers, but I found out in my adult life that we spent our spring break every year in Puerto Rico with my grandparents and my family all the time. We would spend like 2 weeks there. And then in 2004, my grandfather passed away, and my grandmother at the same time was developing dementia and Alzheimer's. So we sold her house in Puerto Rico. We bought a house here because New York is expensive.
Right.
And my mom was the one that like decided, okay, I'm going to take her in. It's kind of like an exchange deal. They were tired of New York, it's expensive. So they wanted a change. So we were here in South Carolina.
Right.
Visiting. And it actually, like here, because once my grandfather kind of passed away, we started visiting here, and it was actually the summer. So we were here in the summers, and then in the summer of 2005, we were visiting, and it was me and my sister in the bed, and my mom woke us up, and she was like, I bought a house. And we were like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, we were young, so we didn't, you know, we were excited. All I ever lived with was an apartment in New York. I shared a room with my sister. I didn't, you know, I was kind of excited. You don't make that correlation that, oh shit, we're leaving here and we're starting new. So we moved here in July of 2005, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah. How you like it down there?
I think for me, I'll be honest, because I mean, anyone who's been in Charleston for a long time knows that Charleston was different back then. There has been a lot of, and I'm probably going to butcher this word, gentrification.
Gentrification, big
that has happened. I remember when I first moved here, it was more southern. There was more black people here. There was a lot more black culture.
Right.
And then I just noticed the years and years going by, I started seeing less of that and seeing a little bit more brighter people coming, if that's the nice way to say it. So for me, I think that's what turned me off about Charleston. They're losing the culture.
Right.
It's starting to get colonized. And in a few years, it's going to be
It's going to be flipped, definitely.
But other than that, when I first moved here, I do like Charleston. I think it's a cool little, like, mini big city, if that makes sense. It's not too much or so congested like Miami or New York City, but at the same time, I wish it would still keep the real roots.
Right.
Not what they're trying to make it to be.
Right. I feel you.
It's getting gentrified. Where we're at is like gentrification, you know? Like, this is like the hood. But in the middle of these little apartments, you don't feel like the hood, you know what I mean? But I grew up here, so I can see it. It's, you know, it's a good and a bad. Like, we were talking about Brooklyn earlier. Brooklyn is going through gentrification big time. But remember how, like, Brooklyn used to be, like, shitty, like, dirty, you know what I mean? Like, kind of fucked up looking, but now it's starting to look clean. You know, you said a word a few minutes ago. You said colonization. It's being colonized. And it do feel like that, you know? So all right.
They just put a pretty other word, gentrification. No, you're still colonizing everything. Like,
what makes you think like that, though? What makes you? Cause, all right, you're Puerto Rican, right? All right. So when we say like colonization, we kind of subtly have an overtone of like the white man coming, like Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
You
so
know?
that I should have worn that shirt, but I have a shirt. So I'm not a big fan of Christopher Columbus, and I think, I don't know what, I'm still learning that about me. I think possibly, I don't know, maybe I reincarnated and have those past memories of what really happened back then, because it's like within me, I feel so strongly
like a past life, maybe.
Yeah, and I really do think that, but I'm not there yet. Like, I'm still taking it, and I'm still learning, like, everything, but I feel like once I get old, I'm gonna make that connection. Like, oh shit.
I think there's something there with you. I think there's definitely a past life, because this 2022 crowd, I don't think you fit in there. And I told you that before. You're like from another era in this era, you know?
I like that about you. I think it's attractive because, you know, you can kind of see like the same girl over and over and over. The same person over and over and over. Even the same mentality, the same mindset. And then you talk to you, or you just see you doing something totally different, like, I don't know, juicing and dancing.
I've always been like that, though, so.
How? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's so, let me say, so whenever I was in second grade, you know Avril Lavigne, right?
Yeah.
So she kind of came out with her music. She wore the ties and stuff like that. That was like a big thing. I did the same thing. Like I've always been that person. I don't want to do what everyone else is doing.
Right.
I can if I wanted to. Yeah, I could, either straighten my hair or throw on a wig and I could look like Kim Kardashian. I've been, related to that. I could fit in if I wanted to. But I always felt like if there's too many people doing that or like too many people in it, I totally get turned off.
Right.
And I don't want anything to do with that.
Right.
I want to be the person who's doing other shit than what the popular or whatever.
Right. You go against the grain. I feel you, but when you were little, because I'm the same way, but I don't think I embraced this when I grew up. When I was little, I kind of felt like I wanted to fit in. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, so I will explain kind of the type of school. So that's why South Carolina is kind of so important to me, because I think, so in New York, the school that I went to, it was majority white, Italian, white people. And I have a picture, I was literally one of the black girls in school. Right. There was one who was she was black, and then there was me, and then there was another black kid.
Right.
We didn't have a lot of dark or melanated or cultural people in my school or dark. So I remember I always used to admire those white girls with the blue eyes, with the straight hair. And, I said about my hair when I was younger, it was frizzy. We didn't have the tools, we didn't have the knowledge. We just knew that I want my hair to look like that.
Right.
That's what I want it to look. It has to be straight, it has to be silky, and that's just how we view things. So, growing up around that was not the easiest for me because I felt like I didn't compare to the majority.
Right.
And that part in my life, I would say, where I thought that, not that I wasn't pretty enough, but that I didn't fit in. And I always felt that. But then when I moved to South Carolina, I was like, okay, there's girls that kind of look like me. Maybe not my hair, because I still wasn't there with the whole hair thing yet. But there was more Hispanic people, and there was majority. I went to school with black and Mexican people.
Right.
The minorities were the white people.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is great. But at the same time, I still didn't fit in.
Right.
Because just the way I look, it could be, oh, yeah, you're that white girl, or you're not. And that's where it was hard for me, especially when I moved here, because I wasn't dark enough and I wasn't light enough. Right. So I had no idea where I fit in. And because of my personality type, where I grew up, it was like, you don't fit in here because you're not for the streets enough, or you're not, you're not down for it enough. But at the same time, it was like, if I try and fit in with white people, it's like, you're too,
something.
Yeah, you're just too, I don't even know the word. So that was really hard.
How did you cope? How did you get through it?
I would say maybe 11th grade, when I finally met my circle of kind of people who looked close to me. She was from Argentina, and everyone used to call us primas, we looked together. I don't know if you know her, Sabrina, Lorena. Okay, me and her, best friends.
I know her.
Best friends. So we, for me, I saw her and I was like, you look like me, but you're cool with both, white people and black people. And then Kelly was another friend, but she was Korean and white.
Right.
But she grew up in Atlanta, so she had a lot of, experience with more melanated people.
Right.
So that's where I found kind of a friendship with them, because it's okay, you guys, it doesn't matter to you guys. So I this is where I fit in.
Right.
So that helped me a lot during high school.
That's
a lot. It was. I'm very thankful for that. Still thankful for you guys.
You're a little pro. You poured it right at the right camera. All right, I feel you. So, all right, look-wise, that was hard for you to fit in. Now, mindset-wise, you have a different mindset also. You don't think most people around her. You know, I see you sometimes. You say you even post like pro-Trump shit. You know, how does that go? Because you know, like because I'm pro-Trump. If I post like a pro-Trump shit, people will call you like a white racist skinhead and shit. I'm the furthest person from there, but I like what Trump was doing. I liked how he, you know, governed us. But how did you get with that? I'd call it a different way of thinking. How did you get through?
How did you develop this mindset? And you know, I remember I talked to you one time. You said you used to study like aliens and shit like that.
That's where my journey started. Yeah.
Is that where it started?
Yeah.
With the
in
aliens?
High school. Yeah.
All right. What interests you about aliens?
So I will touch on Trump and then I'll go to aliens.
Right.
So the most thing that I get, because, and that one's always hard for me, because at the same time, I'm a Trump supporter, but at the same time I don't trust him.
Right, correct, 100%.
He still hung out with people
he still was with Epstein and all that.
But at the same time, I wonder, and this is my thought, I wonder, is he someone like that sits back and I'd rather sit with my enemy,
right,
and know and get to know you,
right,
and act like your friend. So I wonder what his role is. The same as I feel about Kanye.
Correct.
He's up there, but he knows what he's against.
Correct.
These people know what they're against. In 1 second, you'll be here and then you'll be gone. They'll fucking kill you and act like it's an accident or that you kill yourself.
100%.
So that's how I think too.
Right.
I have to be smart with my words and what I think. So yeah, I'm for Trump, because you have to really you have to look like who's doing what for who.
Right, correct.
But at the same time, people do stuff to benefit themselves. So, but if I had, you have to pick your poison with it.
Right.
I'd rather drink from fucking Trump's cup for the time being and kind of figure out what his motives are, what's going on.
100%.
The media is the one that portrayed the narrative of what Trump is about. Mm-hmm. And if you're not a New Yorker, you're not going to understand that.
Right, correct.
And I'm not saying all New Yorkers, because a lot of them, you know, I have a lot of family from New York, and, you know, I respect people's perspective. And I always say perspective is what you see out of this and what you hear. Right. Everyone sees differently, everyone hears differently. So that's hard to change what they see and what they hear. So for like my vision of Trump, he may not be the best talker or to get out what he really means, but I think he is very smart. Yeah. I think every time, and people will think that, I don't know, like in my head, it's just, he'll go into stupid mode. And not even stupid mode, but he's just smart when he's campaigning.
Correct.
People love drama.
Right.
Because if not, they wouldn't be watching the shows that they're watching.
Correct.
So he's smart when it comes to, all right, when I'm in campaign mode, this is what I'm going to get the people riled up about.
Right.
So they're on my side about
100%.
it. And all of them do it, to be honest. I mean, Biden did it.
Right.
He pulled the cover over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, he did.
So people get stuck with how people talk instead of focusing on the action.
Right.
Yeah, Trump talks a lot of shit or whatever, but what was his actions? What did it show?
Right.
How are we living?
Right.
How were things for us? As opposed to you listening to someone's fairy tale and how it sounds,
right?
But they're showing you the different.
Right.
Like they're showing you totally different.
Opposite, right? Exactly.
So I guess that's like a little bit my touch on Trump and everything. You like, for me, you just really have to just kind of ignore the words and see the action.
Do you get backlash? Do you get a lot of people in your DMs telling you, why the fuck are you posting this Trump shit?
To be honest, no. The only thing I would say the most that I get is probably, well, you know, they're all out for us. Okay, they're all not fucking for us. Like, we fucking know that, but at the same time, you have to understand, like, you have to stop and take a look and be like, we're all real people too.
Right.
Like, he's not doing this for nothing.
Right.
You don't know what his motives are. You don't know if he's against that crazy ass shit.
Right.
He can have a totally crazy ass different agenda. I'm not saying that it's better than that one, but I mean, I know gas was a lot cheaper. I know we weren't at war.
Right.
I know that, you know, he's a businessman.
Right.
Everything in life is a business.
Correct.
You have to run it as a business.
Correct.
So
100%.
he was running America as a business, and that was the best thing for us.
And we had a hell of a stock market. We had a hell of an economy. We had low gas. We wasn't in war, like you said. All that shit was going good, you know? And I like that you say, because a lot of times, man, people probably believe what we say, or they probably agree with, but they won't say it, you know? A lot of times people are scared to say shit that you say, or shit that I say. But I look at your, the other day you had a story about Hollywood's satanic agenda. Now, I just got out of like a Hollywood movement, and I've seen like a shit ton of satanic shit. You know, like,
I remember this is such a big rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
My God.
It was even for me, because I used to do music, like rap game shit, and I always was like, I don't want to be in the rap game. I just want to get it to Hollywood. I kind of want to skip the music and go to Hollywood. So then I got into this like Snyder Cut movement, and anyway, I saw a lot of Hollywood has a satanic agenda. But what I'm trying to say is, you don't see girls, or you don't see many people. I could tell people, yo, I was there. I know this shit is true, and they'll still be like, oh, are you? That's a conspiracy theorist. You know, I don't believe that. How do you navigate through that? Because you put a lot of conspiracy type shit up, you know.
I'm so glad you did the quotes.
Yeah.
I try and steer away from that now. I tell them, like, whenever I talk to someone, like, yeah, you're modern day conspiracy, me, truth seeker.
Right.
I try to veer away from that. But, so this is where I go into health. Okay.
All right.
And I tell people it's so important. My dislike with humans are that people love to say they're spiritual, but they're not feeding their body the right things.
Ooh,
but that's a big thing.
Right.
Like, how you react to things, how you're going to be. Like, if you're eating not healthy stuff,
right,
your gut's not working right. Everything here and here, the mind connect, everything's on. And I'm not saying you have to be perfect, because obviously you don't have to be perfect.
Right.
But I mean, you have to have some sense of, I feel like, and I don't even know the word, like, I don't know. And I think I'm learning more about that now. So I don't really know the verbiage of how to be it, but I know it starts with that. Like, especially, like, I've had multiple conversations with people that, like the police officers, you know, there's a lot of killing of people who aren't deserving to be killed. But that has to do with how they start their day, what they're putting into their body. Are they, you know, are they ready for this? Are they doing meditation? Are they doing exercises to calm themselves down before they go out in those streets?
Oh, hell yeah.
And I think that's so important, because what they eat in the morning, how their morning routine is going to set the tone for the rest of their day.
Right.
So if you have this officer that's rushing, single mom, single father, or even just has a family, wife in general, they're waking up rushing.
Right.
Which they shouldn't be.
Right.
Or at least if they wake up, they get to work, they should have this time period that we have activities to get you ready to go out there.
Right.
You should be fed a well breakfast.
Right.
You know, start out with your day, like just stretching your mind, your body, and making sure that you're in good spirits before you go and serve the streets, basically.
Right.
So I think that has to do with a lot. I don't know if I forgot the general. Because I always get sidetracked with different things.
Yes. Please stand by for further details. We return. Stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
I always felt like I had a guardian angel.
You do.
Someone is guiding me. Like those numbers that people say.
Right.
I always see them.
Right.
All the time. Every day.
So
and I don't need to.
Right.
All the time. 333, 111, 555,
Right.
444. Always see it.
Right.
And I have my phone on military time.
Right.
And I still see that. The synchronicity.
What do you think it is? Like your guardian angel?
Yeah, I have. Because as I keep going to different stages, it's more. It's more.
Right.
It's more. I see it more frequently. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening to you guys. Like, I'm not perfect, but I'm listening. I'm trying to.
Did you ever model?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with my friend Sabrina, she loved modeling. So I did it with her, and she took me along with her. And but after that, I don't know. And I think that's something that I'm still figuring out with me. Like, I'm someone who, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. And then I've just been learning that maybe it's important to master some things.
Right.
I don't know. Is it? Right. Is it not? I'm there in my life right now.
Do you want to
should
continue
I? Honestly, I do.
Right.
I would.
Right.
But it depends the perspective that I'm selling. I want something that's going to help people. I want something that's going to motivate people.
Right.
Like, I want to show pictures with a bunch of fruit and vegetables. I want to show pictures in a garden, or I want to be that new influence.
Right.
Or bring that new culture to possibly what will come out. I don't know, in the future. That's weird. I feel like I just had a little voice tell me that may be, where we're headed. It's like you're going to see more people, less with designer clothes and cars.
Right.
And we're going to be with people who are in their gardens and creating their own little communities. Because the way that things are going, I feel like our new generation isn't for that shit. We're not going for it. We're just not. We're not going to do it.
If we go to war with Russia, a lot of people are going to be fucked because we ain't going to know how to get out of it. It's like the wrong country to go to war with. And it's, you're right, I don't know. We do need gardening big time. My mom gardens a lot, and I've been kind of trying to learn shit from her. I try to go over there every day, but it's like a 365-day-a-year job. She's always in the backyard doing some more shit, some more. But if we need that, like say the electricity went out or these trucks stopped carrying it, a lot of people are not going to know how to get food. The simplest fucking thing. They're not going to know how to do it. If the store run out of food, we're fucked, Like a lot of people are going to be fucked, and I think that is more of a simple way. Like we talk about cell phones and the frequencies and shit like that, but we can go back to the old flip phones, but would anybody want to do that? You can't get your Instagrams or you can't get your, but do you want to save your life? That's the big thing. I don't think we're going to give up all of this technology to go back to the old world.
I think that's only going to be based on the science and information.
Right.
So, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this.
Say it.
Humans are moldable. Very easily influenced.
Definitely.
And I think that's our downfall. That's why we are the way we are. So if celebrities went back to the flip phone, you have these higher up people. That's what it takes, unless you're an individual-minded person.
Right.
But even still, then, because it's very hard in this day and age. Because, like I said, like my old account on Instagram, you can only go far unless you know the algorithm. That's what I'm saying. I'm starting to learn it, but at the same time, we're so integrated with the matrix and how it is that we have to coexist. Coexist.
Right.
We have to. So someone like me, some of the people that I follow, you have to throw in a little bit of whatever's going on and this shit to be relevant enough for people to even give you the time of day.
Correct.
And that's where I think I struggle.
How?
Because I don't want to do that.
You don't want to be relevant, or you don't want to?
I don't want to I just want to, and I just want to stay factual. I want to stay on topic. I want to say what's real. I want to, for me, and I think maybe I've had to learn the balance, I don't want to be laughing or, or to be I don't know, about something, which it is good. I think the balance is good. Maybe I struggle with that. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of serious shit that's going on that we need to pay attention to.
It is.
And there's a lot of bullshit, like TikTok dances and all this. And it's why can't we do TikTok dances with information? Which I'm sure there's people that do. Maybe I'm just not educated on it. But I don't know.
You need to let me do your podcast. That's what it's all boiling down to.
Yeah, maybe just someone to manage my thoughts and my shit, because for one, I think people think like me or they see things like me, but I've come to find no, people are okay with fucking putting ramen noodles as the first thing in their mouth, and they're just yeah, I fed my stomach something, my gas tank is full, let's go. And I'm but you're putting really bad gas in there, really bad gas, you moving, but you putting in the bag that nobody wants that. So I think that's where I struggle, but I do I feel like I do have a lot of information that could help people, but at the same time people have to make that connection to want it for themselves.
Right.
And I think that's hard. You need a lot of heavy influence from more people who are like-minded to me.
You're influential, though.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure everybody sees your shit. They might not get it, or I don't think a lot of people can even think on your levels or even question society like you do, but I think they see it. I'm pretty sure they do.
Sometimes I wonder if it sounds off and weird to them, because I've met some people who are like-minded to me, but they're on another level. And I'm is this how people feel with me? Because I'm whoa. I've had someone, they talk about, I got these people come meet me in my dreams and stuff. And I'm what? And some people say they have to cover their mirrors in their room, or that opens access to other people. And for me, I don't know if it's just my aura that I don't acknowledge the negative entities or the negative stuff that I feel because if you vibrate at a low, worry, fear level, I just never got that.
You manifest that type of shit.
Yes,
yeah,
and you allow yourself to see it. So I don't see, I can watch The Conjuring. Right. I can watch Insidious. I can watch the things, but I don't see it as real. Right. Because for me, you see a lot of them praying, they'll say the Hail Mary or the Our Father and stuff. But for me, my point of view, I'm God.
Oh, hell yeah. Now
I'm God. So you're not relevant to me.
Right.
If you're vibrating here and you're trying to get fear out of me, no, because you don't even exist.
Right.
You don't. So that's why when I meet people like that, I take it with a grain of salt, and I always try to change their perspective.
Right.
But sometimes I wonder, is that too offsetting for them, or is that too weird? Because that can really offset somebody if I say I'm God.
Right.
But they don't get that. You're God.
Right.
You're God. You're God. You're God. And people differentiate it and they put it as a person. or an entity, or which in a sense it is, but at the same time, if you believe I'm one with the universe, everything is me flowing with everyone. Like, you're me, I'm you, this is me, everything is me, and that's how you should treat it as so. Because if not, then that's your karma. So, I guess I wonder, back to what I was like kind of getting to, I've met some kind of like off the wall people, and I wonder, like, are they different? Do they vibrate in a different dimension that I may not be at yet? Or are they fucking off the rocker? I don't know. And I'm still trying to differentiate that with some people. And I think everybody has their special abilities. And I think that's where I interact. Some people, like, at my new job, I have a girl, she feels a certain way about this other girl. She's like, I feel like it's dark, she has talked about the satanic, she's just getting into her spiritual awakening, but she's dipping into dark stuff. But I don't feel it. But my friend does. And I told her, I think I don't feel it because I don't allow myself to that doesn't exist in my world. The world is so huge. You live in your own world. This person lives in. There's 7 billion cajillion worlds that go on, and for me, I'm like, she's harmless to me. Because metaphysically, she can't touch me because I won't allow that.
I love when you talk like this. This is why I mean, like, let's interview. Just talking like that. Nobody says shit like that, bro.
Yeah, but some people are super sensitive to it, that they're so worried. And I wonder, because I have a friend at work and I just met her and she's like, yeah, I feel this, I feel that. And I'm just like, I don't feel that with her. But at the same time, I don't know if that, if that girl has a certain thing with her, and that's why I don't feel it, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. So she's like projecting kind of. She's feeling.
But I don't know if she's making up in her mind already. She has this made up feeling about this girl, and she's living, like, she's already on her hamster wheel with that thought. Me, I'll give it a thought, I'll feel her out, and I'm like, no, she already said she's early in her journey. She's harmless. Whether you're dipping in shit that you don't know or not, if she's dipping in negative entities, that's going to affect her, because they're going to take her and they're going to use her. But for me, even if they try to use her against me, she hasn't been in the game long enough, honey. Like, so I don't, and that's why I say for like young people, because for my friend, she's 20, I'm 30, we have 10 years of difference to where I already been out in the streets. I already went around I already know that energy, but you're feeding in and you're afraid just because, she's starting out and shit. You can't do that, because once you have that thought of fear, that's all they need. That's all it means. That's all whatever it means. But if I say it to myself, and I believe it, you're not anything. I've been around here longer, and plus I'm alive. You're trying to feed off of the liveliness. So for me, that's what you can't give that any stop. You have to stop paying attention to that. You just have to, you have to vibrate high on everything.
Wow. So I got one more question for you. When I was kind of growing up, I remember this dude, I used to think like you, we used to have like not debates, but me and him, he used to bring people over and we would always, I guess, have a cipher or whatever.
Okay.
But he asked me one time, does your wife feel like you? Does your girlfriend feel like you? Think like you? And at the time I was like, no, she don't. And I remember that was such a hindrance, because I would, like try to talk to her like I'm talking to you, or talk to, just tell her something, and she'd be like, I don't know, that maybe conspiracy shit, all right, whatever. So how is it finding a guy that thinks like you, that can follow what you're, not follow your lead, but understand your brain, understand what you're saying? How is it finding a guy like that?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
I think that So modern day men, or men that I experienced within this realm of lifetime, are not used to someone like me. So they will try to keep up with my conversation just because they're attracted to the physical.
Right.
So yeah, it sounds nice, it's interesting, but they really don't give a fuck. They don't care. I've talked to many guys and I've sat there, spilled my heart and stuff, and it's
right.
And I'm just like, and then they talk to me about materialistic things,
right?
Or like, oh, I'm about to do. It's just the normal people,
right?
So I don't think, and even I will say, spiritual guys or girls, because I will digress. I'm into both. So, and not so much. I've met girls, but like I said, whenever I do meet the girls like that or guys like that, like for me, like it has to be all in a combination. It has to be. Like for me, it's like, and I'm not saying you can't, like you have to be perfect in anything and everything, every category, but you have to have a sense of what you're putting in your body for me to be interested. A sense when we talk, like, don't label me as a conspiracy theorist, but at the same time, don't act like you're interested and you're really not. So for me, I think that's where I kind of dislike the looks part of me, because I feel like I look so different. Maybe not beautiful or whatever it is, like, you know, not maybe the average words that you would say. Like for me, I always got exotic. I look different. I've never seen anyone like you. Like even older women I've had, like they're like, oh my God, I've never, and they look, and it makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm like, who am I? Like, am I this foreign being that nobody's ever seen? Because I've probably seen I've seen people who look like me, but not like me, if that makes sense. Like they could be like, oh yeah, you look like Kim Kardashian, or you look like this girl, but I don't meet many people that are like me. There's few women or few men that are like that, but it is hard for me, and I think that's the thing maybe I'm looking for. Like what man or woman is gonna be there for me? Like who am I gonna really connect with and fall in love with, that understands me and wants to do the same in all aspects, like grow together and just like understand each other, not really hold anyone to like a pedestal, but at the same time like understands what's going on in the world. Like we're at war for our rights, for our life, for the future generations. Like who's gonna be there? Like I need someone who like Harriet Tubman. I see her as such an inspiration, because that's the bitch I would have fucked with her. We would have been on the same team. If you're not with me, then your ass gonna get shot. Get the hell out of, like, we have to, like, this is what we have to do. And if not,
I love you.
Right.
Because I know that, because I've bought an iPhone. You know those warning California something 95 or something like that. Have you ever read what that is?
Yeah, no, I never read it, but I know what you're talking about.
It is a warning because in California, this product causes cancer.
Right.
But as long as we have the warning, people are still buying it.
Right.
They're still gonna get it.
Right.
The AirPods. So I bought AirPods last December. It was December 2020. I bought AirPods for me. And then I bought another pair. I was gonna gift it for my daughter for Christmas. So it was like I held hers to the side because I wanted to try it out.
Right.
Because of course, you know, I came up, like I found my conspiracy theories about, you know, having the Bluetooth, that's a signal in your ear.
Right.
I wanted to try it out for myself. I wanted to see how it was. So I like to skate. So I went skating and I put them in, and all I could taste was metal.
Oh wow.
In my mouth. I felt it. It was, it's undescribable. I describe it to people and they think I'm crazy. They have no idea, but I'm like, yes, I felt, it was like this. It was like a connection to here.
I believe it.
And it was a metallic feeling. I couldn't stop. It's like I could feel it. If I go by a microwave, I can feel it.
Right.
But certain things I can feel. I know, like if I'm on my phone too much, I can feel it. I feel sick to my stomach.
Right. So it's they call frequency sensitive or something like that.
Yeah. I think I'm highly, because my daughter now, because I returned them. I ended up returning them, and my mom got her AirPods. So I was like, okay, we can't do anything. But I asked her, I was like, do you not taste the metal in your mouth? And she's like, no.
Really?
And that blows my mind.
Right.
But also, I think I'm just very in tune with my body. Like as soon as I go to a microwave or I'm near it, if I'm within a certain radius, I feel it.
Right.
Like I feel the power within it.
Right.
There's.
Do you meditate?
That's always hard for me because I always wonder people's perspective of meditating. I don't think that I meditate in the way that it calms my mind and body.
Right.
But I think I meditate in a way that I'm actively always maybe not jogging memory, but like I'm always, I don't know the word. I wouldn't say meditating.
Reflecting?
I'm always reflecting. Like, I'm always actively, I think as a Virgo, we kind of do this because we overthink. We have so many thoughts, and I'm sure everybody else does too. Like, not to say a certain type of people, but I am always thinking. Some thoughts I do because I know the concept of meditating. So I let some thoughts like, okay, I don't need to attach myself to that one. Like, okay, I'm human, that thought is. But I do try.
Right.
I will say, like I recently have at my job, we have a meditation room. So I've tried to, because it does help your day. Certain people, it's hard for us to interact with other people, or, we take on a lot of their energy. So I'm that type of person that I could possibly take on a lot of energies if I do allow it. If I don't have a strong hold of what's going on and who I am, then I'll be a fucking wreck. So that took me a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Like,
I meditate sometimes, and I think I meditate when I'm not saying like I need an answer to something, but I need to get out of this certain situation. And I've noticed that meditation is like, I could, I don't know, be having the worst luck all week, and if I meditate, it would completely switch it. I'll be having good luck all of a sudden. All the good shit that I wanted just magically happens, And it took me a while to do that, because at first, when I used to try to meditate, I think I was doing it wrong.
There's no wrong way to meditate. I have learned that. There's no wrong way to meditate. And I have learned that because early in my journey, I used to think that too. And when I first started meditating, because so many things like are going on in my mind, that's normal, and that's a good thing. It's just what meditation is when you have those thoughts, it's important. What are you grabbing hold on?
Right.
What are you taking from those thoughts? Because us as human beings, we have and I don't know the exact number, 10 million bajillion thoughts a day. But it all it boils down to what you decide that you're gonna take hold of, and decide to put it in your pocket and bring it with you. You could bring the bullshit.
Right.
It just all depends. You just can't bring that bullshit. You can observe thoughts that was a natural thought.
Right.
This was a natural thought. But that's what I've come to find, what meditation is. It's just really kind of honing down and paying attention to the present moment, your thoughts, and how you do with them, or how you react to them.
Right.
Because people are like, oh, I I can't meditate. I just sit there. I have all these thoughts and I can't pay attention to this. Yeah, we're human.
Right.
And that's why. And then people get discouraged and they're like, I can't fucking meditate. No, you're fine. That's normal. You should do that, especially in the beginning, because you're getting uncomfortable to grow. So now it's like, okay, I'm sitting here. All these thoughts are coming by. That's good. Yeah. Acknowledge them. If you want to ride on them, take a ride. Yeah, I want to go. Like, yes, experience those thoughts, because that's what's going to help you progress every time, because you're practicing it.
Right. It got me like that. At first I used to run away because it was just like, you know, like
it's
a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. The way your mind goes, it's a lot.
Right.
People just, I understand it. They see it and they're like, oh shit, this is not what I thought I was supposed to be. Well, like holy or like feeling free. And no, when you go through spiritual awakenings, it's not fucking rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
It's dealing with your fucking bullshit. It's dealing with who you are. It's learning who you are. It's unlearning the bullshit. It's rewiring your brain. And that's what meditation too, it is also that. It's like, I have all these thoughts, blah, 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 and people think they gotta be perfect. Like, I'm gonna sit here like a monk and be zen, and it's just all gonna work out for me. And if I say it is going to. No, the universe has other problems. Like, they have other shit for you.
I love the way you think, man. I love the way you think. But, like, how did you get on this path? Like,
I don't know. I think I honestly, I have no idea. Like, I don't even know what my purpose is.
Right.
And I wing it. And most days, I don't think I'm the best, person or the best example. And then other days when I meet other people and I hear about their lives, I'm like, you know, like, not that I'm better than them, but I relate more.
Right.
To them is what I mean out of that. It's like, damn, like, I'm human too. Like, I'm not the only one who's going through this shit.
Right.
Like, but I feel like I'm that person that's like breaking those barriers and letting people know it's okay. You know, so many people, they're like, you don't have to, like, and although like drinking does bring down your spirituality, but they've been doing it for years.
Right,
they have Inca people that they, you know, it has been around, but I think it's all how you handle things. It's all how you choose to maneuver and take hold of the shit in your life. Right. Life is not easy. It's not all holy fucking Eden of garden and you're just here and everything's amazing. No, like, we have some hard shit, but it is all how you deal with it. And I haven't been the best person, you know, like, I do drink. That's something that just helps me cope with a lot of things in my life. Hasn't been the best, maybe not, but as like I get older, I feel like you get more control of it, and then I feel like my path, there's been people who are on the same path and there's worse.
100%.
So,
you're doing pretty good. I mean, people are doing worse, but I definitely say you're doing pretty good. Watching you, I look at you and I'm like, you know, I even got my juicer in the house and you saw it and you're like, oh, you got a juicer, but I get that because I see you doing it. So I'm like, fuck, I got a juice, I gotta get on point, you know. But, you know, I think that's why I bug you about doing a podcast all the time. I think people need to see you doing you.
I think you're right.
You know, I think people just need to see that because a lot of people, you know, they'll kind of judge the messenger. They won't, you know, the messenger, let's say.
I think honestly that's my fear.
What? Somebody judging you?
Not that, kind of. They judge the messenger. The way you put that is, and I think I'll handle it fine, but I think people, their expectation is like Jesus Christ, right. Mother Teresa.
Right, correct.
I mean,
that's what they're looking for.
Gandhi, but you know, that's a whole other rabbit hole. But they have whatever celebrity or whatever status, and that's why, you know, I was nervous about this.
Right.
People hold a certain vision of how they think that you are, and I think that's kind of what I want to bring to the table.
Right.
Like, we're human.
Right.
We're not perfect.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know, it's okay to, like, if you have problems, like if you have a way that you cope with life or you do with life, I just think that everyone's on their journey and everyone's doing their best.
Right.
And that's all you can do. I think if you're trying to do better and self-progress and do good what's on the inside, then you're great. I could go deeper. Don't listen to the bullshit. You have to really open up your mind to the matrix and shit like that. But as long as you're on that, like, that floor of that, you know, you just don't get so deep into, like, you're worthless. Because if you wake up every day, to me, you're not. Even if you're a drug addict, you're waking up for a reason. You keep going for a reason. I can rant out about it.
No,
I know. I'm always like, I like now more. It makes me realize, because it's like, damn, like a lot of people don't know a lot of things. Like, I guess what's daily in my life.
Right.
So
no, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
That's why I try to text you like every day and tell you something because you blow my mind sometimes. I'm like, who is this girl and like, who taught her? Where is she? Is she an alien? What is she? You're so
I get that all the time.
Right.
I literally get that all. That is one of the things. Like whenever I kind of interact with people like this, that's probably one of the sayings that people say. They're like, "Who are you? Are you an alien?" And then I look at them. I'm like, "Oh my God, people are gonna think I'm fucking crazy or some shit." Like, and then I always think my rebuttal is like, "Are you an alien? Like, are we all supposed to be like this?" But that I don't know. And sometimes it doesn't scare me. It just intrigues me. Like, who am I?
It's very intriguing.
Like, why? Like, why me? Why doesn't anyone think like me? Like, why doesn't anyone see, like, hear something and be like,
What's the answer though? Why you? Why?
I think I'm not there yet because I still have in my life shit I have to heal from in order, like I know I'm gonna get there, and it's, I don't know, it might be an aha moment on my deathbed and I'm like, this is who I am, goodbye everybody.
No,
but I mean, I'm okay because I'm just gonna transition. But you know, I wonder that too. Like, why is I trying for our future generations?
Right.
So I see that a lot with what I'm doing and
I think you're perfect.
in my life.
I think you're on point as hell, but you're pretty as hell. You got it.
Thanks.
I appreciate this interview. Now, if someone wants to find you or look you up, where could they find you?
On Instagram, EYEMAN, Ashley Marie on Instagram. Facebook is just Ashley Marie. It's a lot harder. Like, I feel like nobody can find me on Facebook. But those are and I have a YouTube video, which is my first one, but I'm trying to like really more expand like who I am in it, like trying to figure out, like that first video was more like, okay, I have to get it out to get to break the ice.
Right, correct.
Because if not, then I was never going to do it.
Right.
And now that I did, and I feel like I did good with it, I do want to do more. It's just kind of like thinking like, you know, where do I start with everything? Because it's been so long. It's like I have so much information. I don't want to bombard, you know, with like this, like, you know, jump around in different subjects. But at the same time, I do want to like let the information